Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today's video is part of the Try It Tuesday challenge, which is put on by Sammy from Unicorn Dust Designs. And this month's co-host for this challenge is Rebecca Virginia DIY. I will have both of their channels linked down in the description box below, so don't forget to check those out when you are all done here. They post some really great DIY content. There's also going to be a link to the playlist for this Try It Tuesday challenge, where you can take a look at other people's DIY videos. And the idea behind this is that we get our inspiration often from other creators, and so this is just a chance to kind of give them a shout out, acknowledge them, and then show you how we're putting our own spin on their projects. So make sure you check out all of the links in the description box below. And without further ado, let's get started. So this first project comes from some inspiration from Sammy at Unicorn Dust Designs, and she made a faux tin look using some paper straws, but she had mentioned that you could use some wooden dowels as well, and so that's what I'm doing. So I'm just taking one of the small canvases that I had on hand, and I am removing the canvas. And every time I always feel like I'm going to try to remove all of the staples, and then I realize it's not worth it and I should just hammer them in with a hammer to make it nice and smooth. So I'm just trimming it all up, and then we're going to just kind of, shake the camera while we hammer it, and then we're going to move on. Now I'm going to paint my frame with some antique wax from Waverly, and I'm just applying it with a paper towel. You could, of course, paint any color you want. Now, my project is very different from Sammy's. She made some, like, houses, or maybe it was a church, but I am just using the concept of the faux tin look. So I'm just cutting down my dowel rods to fit. I will say, if you're going to try this, I would recommend doing the straws like she had, because they're way easier to cut. I just didn't want to go to the store. I was trying to use things that I already had on hand. And about 2 seconds into this, I was wishing that I was using paper straws. So I decided I was going to use the canvas that I pulled off as my backing to help secure the dowel rods. So I just cut off a piece for the back, just kind of trimmed the edges. And we're not gluing the canvas yet, we're just gluing the rods. And I just placed it inside so that I would kind of have an idea of where to go with it. And then eventually I take it out of the frame and just glue them from there. But we're just gluing them on, and then I'll have kind of a base to paint this. I would say to definitely check out Sammy's video. She pulled it off a little better than me, but I do like the idea of it. I'm giving it a base coat of the color Elephant from Waverly, and then we're going to go in with a little bit of texturizing. I'm so excited when Sammy hosts this challenge. She hosts it every month, and I have participated before, but it was with my other channel, Simply Enjoying Life. But I recently started this channel in order to separate my DIYs. So this is my first Try It Tuesday on this channel. So now I'm going in with some brown, and I thought about doing a little bit of yellow. I didn't like how this looked. I wasn't using the right brush. I'm going to give it some more Elephant, and we'll let it dry and start over. So don't be afraid to try stuff. You can just repaint it. Now I've got these little lemon slices. Well, it was also pineapples from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint them in a yellow. I'm just using a craft paint, I think from Craft Smart, just something, or an acrylic paint from Craft Smart. I think the color was bright yellow, and what I was trying to do was do the outer rim in the yellow, and then you'll see in just a second I mute it a little bit with some white to get it a little paler yellow for the flesh of the lemon. Now I will say that it ended up looking about the same. It didn't make a huge difference, but it was worth giving it a shot. So I have this little piece of scrap wood left over from a previous Dollar Tree DIY, and I ended up painting that yellow, but I didn't show you that. We'll see that in just a little bit. So now that this was dry, I'm going in with a stencil brush. I checked Sammy's video, and that's what she used, and that worked a lot better. So I did a couple shades of brown and silver lining from Waverly. A metallic paint would have been nice, but I didn't have any. So now I'm just taking my white metallic marker that is also from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just kind of outlining all of the things on these wooden stickers that basically have like a brown outline. So like this seeds and I guess what would be the rind. And I actually only needed the smaller slices of lemons, so that's why that's what I did there. And then I just wrote on this little sign, fresh lemonade, 25 cents. And I'm taking a little bit of the brown and just kind of going over these pieces very, very lightly. But I just didn't want them to be so stark and crisp up against everything else in the sign that was so rustic. So now we're just going to attach everything with some hot glue. So I'm just putting that in the center. Then we're going to attach the frame. It was a pretty snug fit, but I did go ahead and glue along the back just to make sure, and to make sure the canvas wasn't, you know, flopping around. And then we're going to glue on the lemon slices. And here it is all finished. I'm probably going to put this on my tiered tray. I don't do a ton of summer decor, but I thought it would be fun to pull out a few lemon things, and I'll also be doing some patriotic things that should be coming up soon in a video, and I just thought this would be cute to add to my tiered tray. So for this next one, I'm taking a large canvas. I think this is the 11 by 13 maybe from the Dollar Tree, and mine was actually wrapped twice in plastic, so not sure what that was about. But this was an idea inspired by Teresa B. DIY, and I will have her video linked below. And I am just going to give this a nice coat, actually 2 coats of Serenity Blue from Rust-Oleum. I had bought this to do some side tables. That was in a recent video of mine, if you want to check that out, that I did a little makeover on for my guest bedroom. And so I thought it would be nice to use the same color to just do a piece of wall art to tie everything together. And I'm still working to get that put together, that room put together, but I'm slowly coming up with all the pieces. So I have this wall decal from the Dollar Tree, and after my 2 coats of Rust-Oleum dried, we are just going to apply this on. They are movable, but on this paint it wasn't like super movable. So definitely I would recommend trying to figure out where you want it first. I was kind of just trying to go with it and not be too exact. So we're just going to apply each of those on there. Now, she had her piece, Teresa had her piece framed when she finished this, and I thought about making something kind of like a border on it, but I ended up not. But I do add something cool to hang it up with. So I'm just going to give this whole thing a good coat of Mod Podge. You want to cover the whole thing just so that the whole piece has the same texture, so not just over the decal, and just give it a nice thick coat and then let that dry thoroughly. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you are new here, I would appreciate it if you would consider subscribing. Since I started the new channel, I'm trying to, you know, build up the subscribers and the hours that I had on the other channel, so I would appreciate it. So I have this little rope stuff that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. It was $9.99, but I picked it up when it was half off, and we're going to just attach this to hang it up. I thought this would be nice because it's a little bit chunky and bulkier and different. So when you do cut this, if you have this or get this, you do want to tape or secure the ends somehow, because it's basically just a braided rope, and the rope itself doesn't come unraveled, but the braid will come undone. Now I'm just gluing this with hot glue, and it is a heftier rope, so just make sure that you are putting plenty down, and then I kind of surrounded the outside edge with it and held it until the glue was thoroughly dry. Or if you don't have patience like me, just stick something heavy on top to hold it. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. And here it is all finished. I absolutely love how this came out. I can't wait to hang it up on the walls in my guest bedroom. I think it's really pretty. So this last one I found just when I was looking up some lemon decor ideas, and I'd never come across this channel before, but I did enjoy her video, Reese's World of Ideas, and this actually happened to be the same piece that she had from Dollar Tree. It was just a different pattern, and I was like, hey, I have this, now I know what to do with it. So you could use other signs though for the same idea, and we're just going to remove the frame, and then it was a little bit roughed up because of how I took it off, so I sanded it off camera over a garbage can to make cleanup easier. And then we're going to come back and start painting this. Now she did different colors and everything but the whole general concept just kind of got me thinking, like, I've got things to do this with. Now you see I started painting the border yellow, and I realized it was going to take forever because my yellow isn't an acrylic paint. This is a pretty bold pattern, so I just took my silver lining because it was what was nearest to me. You could also use white, and just gave this a good base coat because the chalk paint does have better coverage, and I did the whole thing so that the top had a base coat as well, so the paper I'm putting on wouldn't be able to see the bottom through it. So I hope that makes sense. I'm using that same craft paint, like I said, I think it was, or acrylic paint, I think it was bright yellow in Craft Smart, and gave the edges a couple coats. And then I pulled out this calendar from the Dollar Tree. I haven't used a lot of these pages yet, and there's a lemon one in there. So I am cutting out kind of the center. It actually worked out perfect. There was like a rectangle in the center. And we are just going to Mod Podge this on. So giving a nice coat to the top here. I also put a little bit on the paper itself, and I wish I hadn't, at least on the underneath part, because I felt like it wrinkled up a lot easier. So my recommendation would be put the Mod Podge on the little sign part and not on the underside of this paper. And then once you get that on, see, it started to curl up on me already, and I don't know why I did that. I shouldn't have done that. But get that laid out nice and smooth, get as many wrinkles out as you can, and then Mod Podge over the top. So that's just my recommendation. Learn from me. Do as I say, not as I do. And but I will definitely have the original video, all of these projects linked down below for you to check out. So as well as the playlists and the host channels and all of that. So once this fully dried, I am just using sandpaper, brushing away from the paper like in a downward motion to get off the edges. That works really well. I love that technique to get this all off. So we're going to show you this finished look here in just a second. This is going to just sit on my counter. I think it's going to look really cute, but I didn't set that all up for you here. Just showing you how it came out. I absolutely love, love, love how this came out. Once again, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I will be doing many more DIYs. I was enjoying them on my other channel. We're just moving them over here for the future. And here they all are. Thanks guys so much for watching. Once again, please check out all of the links in the description box below. And I hope to see you in my next video.